The Secret Garden, Chapter 2, An Old Key. One morning, Mary asked Martha, "What happened to Mr. Kevin's wife?" Martha looked at Mary and said, "There was an old tree in Mr. Kevin's garden, which a branch like a seat. She often sat there, reading and talking. One day, the branch broke and she fell. She was badly injured and then died. That's why Mr. Craven hates the garden. He doesn't allow anyone to go there or to talk about it." Mary rarely felt sorry for anyone, but now she understood how unhappy her uncle was. Mary started to like her life at Miss Mortimer. After breakfast, she went outside and spent most of the day in the grounds. The cold wine made her cheeks pink, and each evening she ate all her food. After dinner, she liked sitting near the fire and talking to Martha. One night there was a strong wind, and the door and windows banged. Mary listened to the noise. She thought that she heard a child crying. "Martha, can you hear someone crying?" she asked. No, she answered. "It's only the wind of the servant who works in the kitchen. She has a toothache, poor girl. Perhaps she is crying." The next day, it rained and Mary was bored. She complained to Martha because she had nothing to do. One day, a light visit home, we all tried to do things indoors. Martha said, "That is, always at Deacon. He goes out of the moor in all kinds of weather. He brought home a small fox that he found. He's got a crow too, Callie Scott." When Martha left the room, Mary decided to explore the house. She walked quickly along corridors, up and down stairs. She heard the sound of a child crying again. She stopped to listen at the door, but another door opened, and Mrs. Medlock came out. "What are you doing here?" she said angrily. She took Mary by the arm and pulled her away. "Go back to your room at once." "I didn't know which way to go, and then I heard someone cry," said Mary. "You didn't hear anything," said Mrs. Medlock. "Go back to your room, or I tell Mr. Kevin that you didn't listen to me." But Mary still wanted to know what the sound of a kind was. "The storm soon passed. Wait until the sun shines. The moor looks better then," said Martha. "I would like to see your cottage on the moor and meet your mother," said Mary. "You like my mother," Martha said. "She's kind and good-tempered and works hard. When it's my day off, I can go home and see her. I'm very happy." "I'd like to meet Deacon," said Mary. "Yes, you like him too," said Martha. "Everyone likes Deacon." "No one likes me," said Mary sadly. "Maybe that's because you don't like yourself," alluded Martha. "Oh, I never thought of that," said Mary quickly. Martha looked again and left Mary. It was her day off, and she went home to help her mother with the washing. It was raining, so Mary went to the garden. Ben Worcestershire was there. "Spring's coming," said. "The plants are growing the hair, and soon you see the flowers." Mary saw the robin on the wall covered with ivy. He flung down to her feet and tried to find a worm in the hair. Suddenly Mary saw an old key in the hair. "Perhaps it's been buried 40 years," she thought, "and perhaps it's the key to the garden." She put it into her pocket. "If I find the door, then I can go inside and see it. It can become a garden." The next morning, Martha told Mary all about her day at home. "Mother sent you a present," she said. She took out a skipping rope and showed Mary how to skip. "Your mother's very kind," said Mary. She asked herself how Martha's mother could find enough money to buy her the skipping rope. since she didn't have much money. Mary skipped all the time, and the more she skipped, the stronger she grew. Her cheeks became red and she mostly looked pretty. One day, while Mary was watching the rabbit in the garden, a wonderful thing happened. It was almost like a magic. The wind blew some of the heavy of the wall to one side and the other leaf. She saw a door. She remembered that she had the old key in her pocket. She tried it in the lock. At first, it didn't move, but then she turned it and the door opened. The next moment, she was standing inside the secret garden. For Mary, it was a lonely, miserable place. It was untidy and covered with plants. She pulled the ones away to make space for the spring flower to grow. Now, when came birth, she thought, when she said quickly to herself, I am the first person to speak in this garden for 10 years. Time passed quickly as Mary took out the guents and did the grass. So it was time to go back to the house for dinner. Mary wanted to tell Martha her secret, but she knew that it was not a good idea. They might not allow her to go into the secret garden again. So, instead she said, I would like a little garden to grow things in. Yes, said Martha happily. That's exactly what you need to keep you busy. I'll ask Deacon to bring some garden tools and some seed to plant. Mary worked with her hands every day in the secret garden. She was careful because she didn't want Ben to see where she went. But Ben noticed a change in her. One day he said, The French hair is good for you. You look better. Ci vediamo al prossimo video. Baci, Zia Ari.